EA Sports and the PGA of America are proud to present third round coverage of the PGA Championship. The season's final major championship is about to get underway here at Quail Hollow in Charlotte, North Carolina. And Frank, as we look at the field for this PGA Championship, this golf course favors what kind of player?
Good drivers of the golf ball, Rich. The first time they had the event actually at Quail Hollow when it was a regular tour event, David Toms won, who was one of the straightest drivers of the ball. Rory McIlroy's won twice around here, obviously one of the premier drivers of the golf ball. JB Holmes, we know he's long, but also amazingly straight for that length. Ricky Fowler on a good day is a great driver of the golf ball. That's really what Quail Hollow not only requires, but demands.
Not on the fairway here. This could be a tough shot coming up next.
Remember, out of the rough. Expect the ball to jump forward a little bit. Rich, I'm amazed how much the PGA Championship has changed over these last 10 to 15 years. Their choice of venues have really upgraded the championship. It's no longer just the fourth major. In some respects, it's a professional golfers championship now. We have the Masters, we have the US Open, we have the Open Championship, but now we have a setup at the end of the year for the fourth major that allows these guys to showcase their skills. It's not overly tough, it's not overly brutal, it's scoreable. But the thing about it, it's a test.
And it's the only major championship set up by the professional golfers of America. It's a fair setup. The players will tell you that. There's nothing tricky about it. And when you take these majors to the great venues, so often it gives you the great champions. Very well done. Almost made it.
Yeah, there'll be no stress for the next one. Even par currently.
Been a little too much of that, Frank. Just sort of ho-hum pars. Here we are now at the 11th. So a run of pars leading up to this middle portion of the third round. Frank, what does he need to do in order to make a move here?
Not much more, really, Rich. Just getting an approach shot, maybe 5 or 10 feet closer to the hole than what he's doing right now. He's going to give you so many more opportunities. And that score, well, it'll certainly change.
Nothing to argue about there, right in the fairway. Frank, really good chance from this position to make a birdie.
Yeah, really the only thing he's looking at right now is the flag. This is a green light special.
This is a good-looking shot. Oh, can't hide the flagstick from that man. Now this for birdie came away with par in the previous round. Oh, I thought he had that.
Well, I thought they'd at least pick up a shot. Birdie looked like a sitter. Now par.
Good roll. Solid. That's a par. Frank, I think the mark of a good golf course design, changing directions. We go from a right to left hole, now at the 12th, to a left to right hole.
Yeah, there's no two holes at Quail Hollow that look the same. And this one's slightly downhill. Fairway tilts a little bit to the right. And it's a bit of a sleeper. And plus you add in on top of that 450 yards plus. This is a fairway that has to be hit.
Wow, that is a monster drive down there, about 315 yards.
Frank, we always say about Quail Hollow, you have to play with a clear head. You have to be thinking your way around this golf course. So what's the right thought process on this second shot?
Keep the ball in the right section. That front portion there, you can't afford to go long when the flag's there. Conversely, when the flag's in the back, you can't afford to be putting up and over that ridge. So you've got to be flying that ball all the way back there.
You can't hide the flagstick from that man.
He is just unbelievable, that never deviated offline.
8-foot putt here.
Frank, we haven't seen a whole lot of that, but no doubt it feels good. Here we are at the par 3, 13th hole. It's 210 yards. What does it take here, Frank?
It's one actually where you'd rather be conservative than aggressive here. And the reason why is this green tends to roll off at the back and the front and the middle there. So it's just something that pitches more in the central part of the green is really what's required.
Appears to be a smart shot, Frank.
Yeah, no problem here. That's going to fly all the way.
That will be a great look at birdie. So coming off the birdie on the previous hole, a chance now for yet another one.
And momentum all in his favor.
A birdie will send him to 1 under on the leaderboard.
Well, Frank, as we arrive at the par 4 14th, just 345 yards, our players no doubt are looking for a little advice from a guy who's been there. You've done it at the highest level. What's the right play here?
Rich, after all these years, I think it's like a modified tee shot. And what I'm going to say with that is like a strong 3-wood, something that pitches around 270 and kicks 30 or 40 yards, finishes up about 20 yards short of the green. I think that's the best ploy. You won't be able to get at all the flags, but I think you'll play the whole under par for the week.
When's the right time to pull out the big driver and have a go at this green?
I don't think there is, but maybe you at home should try.
Ready for a second shot, trying to knock it on the green. Good chance now for a birdie. That was an outstanding play.
Well, it's almost a guarantee there after that shot.
Just needs to keep it steady here over the putt. Ooh, that hurts. Oh, man.
Just pushed it.
Boy, that hurts. Just a little tap in here. He'll take par and move on.
Now as we arrive at the par 5 15th hole here at Quail Hollow, 577 yards, Frank, I think a player has to be thinking about doing what Rory McIlroy did in 2010.
It's the last of the holes that you can really be aggressive on, Rich. So a good drive down here. I'm well aware of the fact that there's water on the left. This is a good chance to make something happen before you play the green mile.
And that's what McIlroy did. hit a tracer, then a 5-iron, knocked it in for eagle, shot 62, and won for the first time on the PGA Tour. Frank, there's really great history here at Quail Hollow.
Yeah, it's a private members club, Rich. Was founded by James Harris back prior to 1960. We know it hosted the Kemper Open from 69 through to 79, the Payne Weber Invitational from 83 to 89. And now, obviously, it's the host of the Wells Fargo Championship ever since it debuted back in 2003.
Excellent looking shot here.
And now the second shot here at this par 5. He's set up for his third shot here, looking to get it on the green with this. Really good distance control there, playing well to his strengths. Shouldn't be a problem here. Well, there's an opportunity wasted.
Just knock it in for a par and let's forget about this one. Golf is not about perfect, but it is going to hurt the cause.
Wow, he got robbed, Frank.
No, it's like kissing your mother-in-law.
He's putting for bogey now. Blemish on the scorecard, a bogey. Final round coverage comes your way tomorrow for our entire crew. I'm Rich Lerner saying thanks for being with us on EA Sports, and so long for now.
EA Sports, and the PGA of America are proud to present final round coverage of the PGA Championship.
They have gathered from around the world here at Quail Hollow in Charlotte, North Carolina for the final major championship of the year. We will crown our next PGA Championship winner. Rich Lerner alongside Frank Nobilo. Happy to be here calling all the action. Frank, what is the mindset for this final major of the season?
Oh, I think it's taken a long time to get here, but it's well deserved, Rich. When you think of the luster of the Wanamaker Trophy, winners like Rory McIlroy, Jordan Spieth of recent, but Gary Player, Jack Nicklaus, Lee Trevino, the list goes on and on. The fourth major, some say the defining major of the year, but played at a golf course that we're well used to now. So I'm looking forward to it, Rich.
This is going to be a tough day on the links. I mean, even the seagulls are walking to work. Pretty good drive here.
Another straight one.
Strong winds have been a factor all day here, Frank. What's the key to scoring low in conditions like this?
Well, sometimes you've almost got to make the ball go to ground. You've just got to keep it out of those high breezes, play away from the trouble.
How tough is this going to be now from the rough, Frank?
Oh, it's tough to say, Rich. I mean, so much is going to depend on that lie. I'm going to need a little bit of luck.
And setting up here in the rough.
I mean, this skill. And that was sublime.
Just good hands, coming out of the rough, able to manage the distance, and now in great position.
Just a fraction too aggressive. Remember, line and speed go together.
Sometimes you want that birdie so badly, and all of a sudden you're faced with a lot of work, more work than you had hoped for, just to make the par. Well, not in contention, but in for par. Back here at the par 4 11th at Quail Hollow, set to tee off. What's the right game plan here, Frank?
Oh, there's two really. That left bunker off the tee, it's about 265 yards to get it on the fairway, or 308 yards, 310 yards run out there. I've seen players just try and carry the bunker, sort of set up a short iron, and I've seen players like Rory McIlroy just try and blast a driver with a hook on it. Both strategies have worked.
Staring at the approach now at the par 4 11. Chance for birdie after that beautiful shot. Birdie chance here. Very long putt, though.
Got to be a little careful if it gets away on him. Had every chance of going in.
This one just requires a little bit of focus. Frank, you know what gets me about this game? Here a person makes a legitimate effort, makes a good stroke, and that ball spins around and is just laughing at the player. And now what's left, you could breathe on that ball. It counts the same as a 300-yard drive. It's not right.
But it's the beauty of the game.
Here we are now at the 12th, and Frank, this is a beautiful but dangerous hole, par 4.
It is in a number of ways. The hole bends gently to the right, which you'd think would favor a nice little fade, but the fairway just seems to shrink up. I've seen this fairway missed by so many good players. And plus it's yardage, 450 odd. You can't really lay back too far, otherwise you've got too long for your second shot.
And now it's right in his wheelhouse, good position where he can attack the pin.
Yeah, he has all those options now. That ball's sitting up, you can bring it in high, you can bring it in low. The choice is yours.
And as he strides up here to the 12th green, having hit it in regulation, he knows now that his work is by no means done. A long putt coming up. See if he can go one better than yesterday when he made par. This putt for birdie. That was not a very good read right there.
Now it's at sneaky distance.
So close. Well, Frank, you hear it so often. This is a game of dealing with your miscues.
That's the beauty of this game of golf. It giveth and it taketh away.
Just a couple of feet. Frank, it's been that kind of a tournament. Another bogey.
Yeah, it's not exactly a small gap between that player there and the rest of the field. That gap's got to feel like the Grand Canyon right now.
Headed for the bunker. And the tee shot ends up in the bunker. Great knees, great hands in this shot.
Yeah, touch. You have to have that feel. You have something between the ball and the club face. So it's a different feel, but you also have to have imagination.
Okay, good shot on the dance floor. Settles in over the putt. Those keep the round going, those par putts. Wow, Frank, this is a really good little par 4, isn't it, the 14th?
It is, and this is where one of those strong three-woods comes in. The last 50 or 60 yards as the ball kicks down and towards the left, and it sounds like an aggressive play, but like a hard three-wood trying to run it down there is actually not a bad play.
Is it drivable?
It is drivable, but it's whether it's worth the risk.
Well, that was a beautiful drive, Frank. Really good position to take advantage.
Sitting up beautifully in the fairway.
And here at 14, another chance to make a birdie with the right approach shot.
Yeah, laying back there a lengthy way in, the green will still kick to the left. So even though it's saying a wedge in hand, you've got to aim right at this flag.
Terrific golf shot. And now that for an easy birdie. Birdie here yesterday. This putt again for birdie. Frank well off the pace, but the true professionals, they keep digging, trying to get better. We're now teed up at the 15th hole. It is the final par 5 here at Quail Hollow, 577 yards. And Frank, I remember this hole well. McIlroy stiffed a 5-iron on his way to making eagle, his first PGA Tour win. That came back in 2010.
And the opportunity exists again here. Under 600 yards, plays downhill off the tee. Those two bunkers on the right are perfectly situated. That second one about 310 yards to it. So something straight at that one with a little draw will set up that mid-iron or long iron that has to be hit very high and uphill.
And from the fairway for his second shot here. Now the all-important approach to this, the final par 5 at Quail Hollow. Well, that's how you play the game right there. Knock it on the green and give yourself a good look at birdie. Par yesterday, now for birdie. Good try, just didn't quite read the break, Frank.
It shouldn't be a problem, you'd think, cleaning up here for par.
Just needs to keep it steady here over the putt. Wow, that's disappointing. Chance to get too deep on one hole, and you leave it short.
Well, the good thing is he didn't miss it, right? It didn't go past and miss. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We'll never know.
Okay. Still has a chance for birdie, too.
Right, okay. I like that. It's a positive attitude.
So that's a bogey, and now to 1 over par for the tournament. At last, we have arrived at the start of one of the most daunting finishing stretches in all of golf. They call it the Green Mile, 16, 17, and 18 here at Quail Hollow. The 16th is a par 4, 508 yards, Frank.
And this hole was made even more difficult when they pushed that green further left to bring the water more in play with the second shot. I mean, it's a great par 4. It's strong in every single department. What a great shot.
Good contact, good result. Frank, you've played in conditions all over the world. Here come the winds now. What's the mindset?
Well, this is really what separates the men from the boys. This is where you've got to tell yourself, and it's an advantage to you. Obviously, the scores will go up a little bit, given the conditions. But once again, this is going to suit the stronger player today.
You like the old phrase, swing easy when it's breezy?
Definitely when you're hitting it into a head breeze. But down breeze, tee it up a little bit, try and ride that wind some more.
See if he can get this one to drop here at the 16th for a birdie. Different day, different hole. Made bogey yesterday. He'll do better this time, it looks like. Frank, that's what you want to do. Good lag putt.
Yeah, they can't all go in.
Not a gimme, but well within his range. Oh, I thought he had that. Well, that's disappointing. He misses the par putt, and he'll have this for bogey. This for bogey once again. Made bogey here yesterday. That's a bogey putt, dropping down the leaderboard a bit, now at 2 over par. Just 2 holes remaining here at Quail Hollow in Charlotte, North Carolina. This is the signature par 3, 221 yards, the 17th.
And they have a multitude of tees here. One of the new back tees is actually where the old 16th green was. And if you think don't go left is the way to play, then that won't work either, because right's not that much good. This is it. Stand on the tee, and you better hit a good shot. Oh, solid strike right in the heart of the green.
Well, that one didn't work out. Didn't look bad in the air. It hit the green, but didn't sit.
Yeah, it was never going to stop.
Second shot coming out of the rough here.
great shot out of the rough. He avoided all the troubles just to get that on the green.
That was not an easy shot. He'll settle. And getting ready for the putt. Frank, that's a par, and onward we go. Now to the finishing hole here at Quail Hollow. Frank, what can we expect?
If there was a name for this hole, Rich, it should be called Narrows. The creek that meanders its way down the left side and actually divides that hole into really half the size of what a normal par 4 should be. That makes it hard. The bunker on the right is your bailout area, just over 290 yards to get past that, and then the narrowest green that still sits up against the lake. This is just a brutal finish.
He has given this one the full treatment. Perfect release through the ball. And this shot is on the fairway, over 300 yards. Great way to finish off the final approach shot with a birdie opportunity. This is a pretty long putt here. You'd be happy to get this to within 2 or 3 feet. You really want to take the stress out of that next putt. Looks like he just misread that.
It's no snack, though.
Well, that's just a poor putt, Frank, and now let's hope he doesn't make a Michael Bublé.
He's hardly going to be singing after that one.
Sitting right now at 2 over par for the round. And that's a bogey. Frank, it was a great setting with great crowds. We saw plenty of very good golf. Your thoughts?
I think the course really extracted some of the golf that we saw. It forced these players to play just some great golf. And it wasn't just like a pitch and a putt golf course. So I think seeing the guys tested, seeing the players tested at this level, it was a treat.
EA Sports and the Wolf Creek Golf Club so proudly present opening round coverage of the EA Sports Spring Invitational. Today we're here at Wolf Creek Golf Club in Mesquite, Nevada. Rich Lerner alongside Frank Nobilo set to bring you all of the action for the EA Sports Spring Invitational. And Frank, what can the players expect from Wolf Creek?
Just a mesmerizing layout, Rich. You can see that from above. Straight driving is imperative out there today. You actually don't have to hit the ball a long way. The elevation on those tees is going to give you that extra distance on almost every shot. You can even take driver out of play on some of the holes. But really it's about being in the right position first on those tee shots that you're going to hit today.
Well, he's going to have to hit the same club a lot harder or just hit another one.
This looks like it's going to find the target.
So a chance for birdie after another solid approach shot.
Really. This is an awkward length.
Well, that would have been a bonus had it gone in, but still, reasonable chance for par here.
Yeah, there's no damage. You're not going to birdie every hole.
Wow, that hurt.
It did. Shot gone forever.
This one just requires a little bit of focus. Well, with that drop shot, moves to 1 over for the tournament. If you're just joining us, let's take you out to our featured golfer at the 5th. It has not gone all that well early in the round for our featured golfer. What do they need to do, Frank, to turn this thing around?
Well, you can't dwell on what's just happened. There's plenty of holes ahead. Look at the scorecard, par fives to play, things like that. Really pick apart this golf course. There's going to be plenty of opportunities around the corner.
Frank, what's it going to take here on this approach at the par 5?
Well, some people might actually try and bounce it in between those two bunkers and run the ball up on the green, but personally, I'd try and actually take a hybrid or something with a little bit more loft and try and fly the ball. Take those two bunkers out of play.
Crucial eagle attempt on the way. Frank, I'm not saying he should pull out driver here, but this is a long putt.
Greens are fast, though. You never know. Good line, good pace. Might have a chance.
That was not a very good read right there. Birdie chance here. Very long putt, though.
Got to be a little careful if it gets away on him.
Pretty good effort right there.
Standing over this putt, concentrating on the read.
How does that stay out?
I have no earthly idea. That's cruel, that. Hole's round. Ball's meant to go in.
Trying to get out of here with just one drop shot. This is for bogey. Losing a bit of ground now in this tournament. With the bogey, falls to 2 over.
Frank, here at the 6th, where are you looking to land the ball off the tee?
Got to be careful here for the longer hitters, Rich. Driver actually might be too much. That stream that we just saw at the par 5 fifth hole, it also comes across here. So something that lands short of that, which is in the vicinity of 280, 290 yards. That's the key. From there, well, you're not going to have too much more in, sort of 140, 150 yards in. It is a dogleg right, but find that fairway there. Second shot played just a fraction uphill. And this green, well, it's got more humps and hollows in it. It's to be expected, though. This course is absolutely crazy.
Appears to be what they call a commercial play. Very solid.
That's how you play the game. Right there. Stick it in close and then knock in the birdie. Shouldn't be a problem here. This can be a cruel game at times. Well, there's an opportunity wasted.
Just knock it in for a par, and let's forget about this one. Golf is not about perfect, but it is going to hurt the cause.
Been a little too much of that, Frank. Just sort of ho-hum pars.
Frank, a very short par 4 here at the 7th, but not one you're going to try to hit off the tee?
No, unless you can fly the ball sort of 300 yards on the nose and stop it within sort of 5 or 6 yards, it's really too risky. This green is not very deep, just sort of 10 or 15 yards in depth. It's just a layup hole, but layup hole it simply doesn't mean grab a club and hit it down the fairway. The best way to play it is to try and hit the ball right on the number. And what I mean by number, I mean the full shot yardage for your second shot, even if that only is a sand iron.
That is an excellent play right there. The approach, giving him another good look. So, 1 over par for the round.
Frank, this is the kind of hole you like to drop a bag of balls and just have fun. Hit it all day long as if you were at the range. Unfortunately, you only get one crack, and you better be good. This is a tough hole.
Well, if you find the water, actually, you might get another one up there. It certainly is a tough hole, though, Rich. The stream going all the way down the left-hand side, and it wraps right around the left and behind the screen, makes that tee shot, well, it certainly makes you think about that tee shot while you're on the tee. Prudent play, aim for the right edge of the green. Nothing wrong if you just miss the green on the right. But miss the green by a yard on the left, you pay a very steep price.
He's knocked it on the green, but not in a great position. This is a difficult chance coming up here. Long birdie try.
Needs a pair of binoculars to see the hole.
Speed wasn't bad on that long putt, but the read wasn't very good.
11 feet away.
That was a good try. Didn't quite get the break right.
Just needs to keep it steady here over the putt. That's a bogey putt, dropping down the leaderboard a bit, now at 2 over par. Second round coverage coming your way tomorrow. For our entire crew, I'm Rich Lerner alongside Frank Nobilo. So long for now. EA Sports and the Wolf Creek Golf Club so proudly present second round coverage of the EA Sports Spring Invitational.
Frank, standing on the 6th tee and looking out at this golf course, I can't help but think that if you hit it offline here, you're going to be playing golf with the Billy Goats.
Yeah, you might actually turn into a billy goat come the end of the day, that's for sure. The huge elevation changes once again are apparent here at the 6th. 'Tis a dogleg to the right, not really a driver unless you want to sort of bring that creek into play or that little stream that cuts across. Second shot, a little bit uphill. Those bunkers are really where you shouldn't go. We all know that. And this green is anything other than flat. A fun-looking hole, too, and a fun hole to play.
Always makes the hole easier, playing it from the fairway. Probably going to have to hit one more club here, Frank. A little bit uphill. This one's looking good. What a display of shot making this has been, Frank.
Oh, that incredible approach shot there. The easiest of birdies coming up.
Frank, well off the pace, but the true professionals, they keep digging, trying to get better.
Now onto the par 4 7th hole. Is this a reachable par 4, Frank?
Distance-wise, you would think so, but the designer has done something to avoid that, and it's put all this water in front of the green. It would take a mammoth tee shot, and that's something like 300 yards through the air if you're going to try and even drive this green. Is the risk worth it? Well, if you're just playing with your friends, maybe it is. Otherwise, you just lay it up, just past those those bunkers on the right and the left, get it down there on the flat. A little pitch, you would think is simple, but because of the slope of this fairway, chances are you might not get a flat lie, and that's going to make that second shot that much harder.
He's making the game look very simple right now. See it, hit it, and he's got it right on track.
Frank going for 2 in a row now. Good job right there. Now making a move and setting himself up for, who knows, a good weekend run, maybe at another title. The former college standout has been excellent today.
Well, that's how you play the game right there. Knock it on the green and give yourself a good look at birdie. Birdie here yesterday. This putt again for birdie.
can't birdie them all, Rich.
Locked in on the read and the speed. Well, that was a good-looking putt, just not falling right now.
No, sadly, he's going to be disappointed.
And he's putting for bogey now. Frank, this has been an absolute mess today and all week long.
You said it best.
Set to round out the front side here at Wolf Creek with a par 4.
Fun hole for the big hitter, too. They can really take advantage of this. The last fairway bunker down there on the right side is just over 300 yards to get over it. And longer hitters could nearly drive it in the green side bunker on the right. So just tee it up there. You're playing desert golf for a reason. Enjoy it. Just have a little flick in here. A chance, too, to have a little birdie at the end of your front 9.
Approach shot into this 9th green, Frank. What's the best play?
A good drive, especially an ambitious drive down there, is just going to leave a pitch up to this green. And if you're coming in here straight, really, it's a good time to just hit one there and skip it into that flag. You can land it short, come in a little lower, and bounce it back towards the flag.
Strong approach shot here at the 9th, and a good opportunity to finish this side with a birdie.
Well, that would have been a bonus had it gone in, but still, reasonable chance for par here.
Yeah, there's no damage. You're not going to birdie every hole.
That's a nice confidence builder right there. You make those for par, you keep things steady. Now the start of the back 9 here at Wolf Creek Golf Club in Mesquite, Nevada, or as I like to call it, Mind Blower Golf Club. Frank, everywhere you look, it's just a mind blower. I mean, this one is hard to believe.
Well, this one's also a hard hole. 472 yards off the back tee. The fairway is a little wider than what it looks off the tee because that sort of desert ridge on the right side there, that blocks part of the fairway. So if you can imagine that fairway opens up a bit, then you'll be fine. A good tee shot down here, especially with that elevation there. That should shorten the hole up a little bit. 270 yards gets you past all those bunkers on the left side. They'll take those out of play. And once again, a little bit uphill, and you see that green, it shapes a little bit to the right. So make sure you're aware of where that flag is.
This one looks like it's headed right for the middle of the dance floor, Frank.
Rather nice shot, I would say.
Early part of this back 9 and a good approach shot. Now we'll have this for birdie. How does that not go in?
It's no snack, though. A lip out's fine as long as it doesn't happen to you.
Just a little tap in here. Whew, this is tough to watch.
I've already got my eyes covered.
Frank, another really rugged hole. This is the par 3 11th here at Wolf Creek.
Rich, remember that book, Dead Solid Perfect? This is what this hole's all about, because you must hit that tee shot solid. You've got to carry all the trouble in front of you. And remind yourself, too, there's enough green grass down there. Not necessarily green, but green grass around there. A good shot safely on the putting surface here, and this green's not too severe. But this is a fun par 3 just to look at. Rich, it's gone.
In the hole. You do not see that every day. That, folks, is a hole-in-one. Wow. That concludes the second round here at this amazing golf course. And, Frank, I'm really looking forward to tomorrow.
I certainly am as well. The players have gotten off to
EA Sports and the Wolf Creek Golf Club so proudly present third round coverage of the EA Sports Spring Invitational.
Not sort of tee it up with a driver and just rip it down there. Just find the fairway. You're going to have virtually just a short wedge, 9-iron really at the most into this green. And really, this is a good chance for a birdie. So 2 good shots, and you shouldn't be too far away.
Frank, one of our colleagues at Golf Channel, Brian Hammond's always liked to say, keep it in the short grass. It is nice to play from the fairway.
The game's so much easier from the fairway. Less decisions to be made. You don't have to worry about a flyer or the lip in front of the bunker or a tree. The game almost appears straightforward from there.
Wow, Frank, he is dialed in.
Yeah, that was just some shot on that. Easy birdie.
See if he can go one better than yesterday when he made par. It's putt for birdie. Well, the time is now to start making birdies, and there we go. 1 on the board, and suddenly inside the top 20.
Yeah, nothing to be ashamed of in that, but really, you've got to be aggressive from here on in.
Second from an excellent lie. Well, that was a big, bold strike, and now a chance for a big, bold move. Putt for eagle coming up. Pretty good stroke right there. Just hit it through the break.
Well, it's that sort of distance. If it goes in, it's a bonus.
Good try. Just didn't quite read the break, Frank.
It shouldn't be a problem, you'd think, cleaning up here for par.
Not a gimme, but well within his range. He's going to beat himself up on the way to the next tee. You don't miss those putts. Just a couple of feet. Well, with that drop shot, moves to 1 over for the tournament. Frank, here at the 6th, where are you looking to land the ball off the tee?
Got to be careful here for the longer hitters, Rich. Driver actually might be too much. That stream that we just saw at the par 5 fifth hole, it also comes across here. So something that lands short of that, which is in the vicinity of 280, 290 yards. That's the key. From there, you're not going to have too much more in, sort of 140, 150 yards in. It is a dogleg right, but find that fairway there. Second shot played just a fraction uphill. And this green, well, it's got more humps and hollows in it. It's to be expected, though. This course is absolutely crazy. There's a bunker over there.
I think he's headed for it. Well, a bit unfortunate in the bunker, Frank.
Well, it'll be interesting to see what his bunker plays like.
All right, so greenside bunker. What's he looking to do with this shot, Frank?
Well, really you have to look at the amount of green you got to play with. You don't have to try and fly the ball right by the flag. Allow it to run. Plus, if you can get it to run like a putt, you never know. It might just go in.
Well, that one didn't work out. Didn't look bad in the air. It hit the green, but didn't sit.
Yeah, it was never going to stop.
How about that shot right there from that lie in the rough to knock it that close? That's good. That had to really hurt, Frank, because it looked good all the way.
Well, this will test his mettle.
Settles in over the putt. Frank, you know full well this can be a humbling game.
And an embarrassing game.
Frank, a very short par 4 here at the 7th, but not one you're going to try to hit off the tee?
No, unless you can fly the ball sort of 300 yards on the nose and stop it within sort of 5 or 6 yards, it's really too risky. This green is not very deep, just sort of 10 or 15 yards in depth. It's just a layup hole, but layup hole it simply doesn't mean grab a club and hit it down the fairway. The best way to play it is to try and hit the ball right on the number. And what I mean by number, I mean the full shot yardage for your second shot, even if that only is a sand iron.
So this is where club selection becomes much more important. Uphill, make sure you have enough stick, and then swing away. Not enough on that one.
Yeah, it just seemed to baby it.
Frank, in golf, as we know, there's short grass and there's long grass. We all want to be in that short grass, but it doesn't always work out that way. So what's the most important element from the shot, from the rough?
You have to be a little bit more conservative first and foremost, because you can't guarantee a perfect strike out of the long grass. So therefore you have to look around the greens, maybe short, to the right, to the left, and realize what's involved. And also just give yourself a slightly bigger target.
EA Sports and the Wolf Creek Golf Club so proudly present final round coverage of the EA Sports Spring Invitational. Always some extra excitement when you get to the first major championship of the year, and here we are. Rich Loader alongside Frank Nobilo. We're at Wolf Creek Golf Club in Mesquite, Nevada for the EA Sports Spring Invitational. Partner, this is a big one.
It certainly is, Rich, and being the first major of the year, you know the players are going to be a little bit more nervous. Anticipations of a great year are going to start right here this week at Wolf Creek. And you're going to have to make all those adjustments out there. Is your game ready? Can you adjust for the changes in elevation? And do you have the confidence to go all the way and pick up the first major championship of the year?
Well, this one should be safely on deck here. That is another laser right at the flagstick.
Getting set now over the putt.
How did that not go in?
Well, there's an opportunity wasted.
Just knock it in for a par, and let's forget about this one. Golf is not about perfect. Right?
Well, not in contention, but in for par. On to the 11th hole, we're looking downhill, 215 yards to the green.
And this is one of the holes that you realize you're at Wolf Creek. You would never see this hole anywhere else in the world. It's amazing when you stand on this tee. You see all of the canyons around, but there is a little green area down there surrounded by a couple of bunkers. It's a great-looking par 3. It measures 215 yards, very playable, and you never know, today might be the day where you make birdie.
Well, he's on the green, but still plenty of work left. About a 25-footer coming up.
Now this for birdie, came away with par in the previous round. Frank, we haven't seen a whole lot of that, but no doubt it feels good. Frank, the par 5 12th is another case of a hole where you see that Wolf Creek Golf Club can actually be kind of scary, daunting. You look out at the desert mountains, and then you add in some water, which we have here on the left, and you can go for some big numbers here if you're not careful.
Well, this is where the Wolf and the Creek can take a bite out of you. You hit it left off the tee, then you're certainly going to start to rack up a number. There's enough fairway down the right, but once again, if you hit a good drive and this hole is reachable for you, then you've got to worry about the water, which is to the right of this green. 5 wouldn't be the worst score you could make around here, that's for sure. I've seen 6s and 7s.
This one has a chance to be close. And as he strides up here to the 12th green, having hit it in regulation, he knows now that his work is by no means done. A long putt coming up.
Into the thick stuff, that's a difficult lie. You'll need to be strong with this.
Just a tap in to finish the hole.
He'll take par and move on. 13th hole, and Frank, Wolf Creek is really kind of a macho golf course because you can stand on a tee like this and say, you know what, I'm going to take this one over the mountains.
And then, if you do, then you flip the coin. Is it in play or is it out of play? This is one hole. You just you realize you're in the middle of the desert, that's for sure. And one hole that you think, well, if I play this hole a couple of times, I might just get the hang of it.
Frank, that ball's sitting up like it's on plush carpeting.
Rich, if you and I had lies like that every time, we'd still be playing this game for a living.
It should be pretty good right there. On the safe side, that was a solid strike and a good result. Shouldn't be a problem here, but not a formality either. Wow, I thought he made that. It's in the hole. Just a sensational shot right there. Frank, describe the layout here at the 14th hole. It's 444 yards, and what a beautiful hole.
It is, and it's a beautiful view. You see everything from the top of that tee there. It's a hole that keeps bending to the left. There's enough bunkers down the left there to actually take your eye. That's why you got to fixate on something in the distance that's a much better line than worrying about that wall of sand down the left side.
It's nice to roll in a 25-footer now and then. Those feel good. But still, there's nothing like hitting that perfect tee ball. Long and straight.
Yeah, you can puff out your chest, last to play, the advantage, holes shorter. Basically, the list goes on.
Playing this par 4, still not on the green after that second shot.
That's still not done. A good third shot, maybe get away here with par.
Not too unhappy with that, Frank, at 17 feet.
No, from that distance, it's more than good.
Well, you just can't make up ground if you don't make putts. Drop shot here at the 14th hole. Standing over this putt, concentrating on the read. My goodness, what does a guy have to do to make a putt out here? So just a formality here. Drops not one, but two shots with that double bogey. Now to the par 3 15th hole here at Wolf Creek. Frank, this is the shortest hole on the course.
And their version of the postage stamp type hole, minus the bunkers on the right side. Green elevated, falls off as you can see down the left side. Club selection is vital, but it is such a short hole. It's very, very tempting, especially when that flag is on the left side, to still go at it. But you miss this green on the left, and you are going to be considerably lower than the level of this green.
Frankie took plenty of time on this birdie putt. He looked at it from 3 different angles. He forgot one very important ingredient.
Yeah, pace. You can definitely fall in love with the line, even with approach shots as well, but obviously we see it more on putting.
Good roll. From a short par 3 to a short par 4. Just 393 yards here at the 16th, Frank.
And when you stand on this tee, this hole looks anything other than straight. Goes to the left and comes back to the right. But if you can just fixate at the green in the distance, you're actually going to look like a relatively straight par 4. And that's the way the hole should be played. Look at those first 2 bunkers that you see and just try and split those. Good tee shot here and nothing more than a wedge left into this green. Simplify it. That's the key.
Well, downhill, Frank. Want to play the ball, a little further back in the stance, take a club less? Seems to like it. Headed for the fat part of the green. Not quite where he was aiming, but still enough room to get it up and down. Made a par in his previous round. This time, it's for birdie. That was well judged, wasn't it? Now to the 17th, par 5 here at Wolf Creek Golf Club.
Yeah, dogleg left. Tee shot obviously has to be played short of that creek down there. It's still going to be a reachable hole, even though this hole's sort of around the 550, 560 mark. But because you've got to play short of that stream, it's going to leave a lengthy second shot, and you've got to get the distance right on the button.
Good tee shot, right in the fairway, and plenty long. And now the second shot here at this par 5. Making the game look very simple right now. See it, hit it, and he's got it right on track. And getting ready for the putt. Well, hello there. That's an eagle.
Might be languishing in the middle of the pack, but please celebrate that.
Finishing holding her at Wolf Creek is only 307 yards. Frank, where's the trouble here?
Short and to the right of this par 4. Really, there's a multitude of options off this tee. You could hit an iron, you could hit a fairway wood. Even some might try and hit a driver, but that's a little too risky. There's too many problems up ahead if you try and take this hole on. Really, a short club off the tee, leaving yourself some area of 100, 70 yards, and you're going to be putting for birdie more often than not.
Can't hide the flagstick from that man. And this will be a 5-foot putt here. That has to feel good. That's a birdie. Frank, I have to say, I've been impressed by the level of golf today. Really came out here with a solid game plan and executed.
And consequently, a very solid round. Continuing with that kind of play can certainly put you in the winner's seat.
EA Sports and the PGA Tour proudly present the season-long race for the FedEx Cup. Today, it's live opening round coverage of the Boston Championship. Hello again and welcome. I'm Rich Lerner alongside my friend and colleague Frank Nobilo. It is a gorgeous fall day here in Massachusetts, TPC Boston, site of the Deutsche Bank Championship, part of the FedEx Cup playoffs. Frank, a really good golf course and highly respected by the best players in the world.
It certainly is. Gives them an opportunity to score. Gil Hanse, Brad Faxon, they made some really good changes over the years, giving it that New England look, that old bunker style. And, of course, they've had a PGA Tour event here all the way back to 2003. Long and straight.
That's how you do it. Vijay Singh, Charlie Hoffman, and Big Henrik Stenson, they all have one thing in common. They all tied for the low tournament score at TPC Boston, 22 under.
And they're all good. Yeah, this is a golf course that obviously gives in to the longer hitters. And if there's just a little bit of sting taken out of the greens, then these long hitters have a huge advantage.
Well, that is an exceptional shot on the green and in position for a birdie.
Yeah, it's a formality now.
Been pretty good all day from this distance, just trying to take care of business.
A birdie will send him to 1 under on the leaderboard. And now over to the 5th. Early in the round and playing reasonably well. Nothing great, but has certainly not given a whole lot away.
Yeah, and actually a good position to really springboard the round from here. Oh, that's it. New member of the 300-yard club.
Good poke right there. Frank, the TPC Boston really starts to show its teeth here in the 5th hole.
Yeah, beautiful hole. That green up ahead, though, there's 3 different sections. Obviously, the easy section is that middle one where it just pokes out to the left.
Superb shot.
Well, that's as good as it's going to get. There's going to be no worries about making that one.
Frank, this would be a nice way to jumpstart the round.
His momentum can quickly go in the right direction if he makes this.
Has it, now sitting at 2 under par for the tournament. All right, Frank, now to the 6th hole. It's a 465-yard par 4. What are the keys?
Well, it's framed beautifully by the trees just in front of the tee, so you know exactly where you're trying to go down there. 2 little bunkers on the right if you stray a little right, and if you stray a little left, you might just make it to the water.
And he's set up for his second shot here, looking to knock it on the green. This one's looking good. Regarded as a very accurate player, that shot says it all. This for birdie.
Sneaking into contention here, that birdie.
Top 15 now on the leaderboard. Frankie, just love the variety of holes here at TPC Boston. Now we get to the 7th. It's a 600-yard par 5.
It looks straight away, but the problem is if you don't hit a good tee shot, then you really have to be aware of that cross bunker. That is one place you don't want to go with your second shot.
That one is in the fairway, down there about 290 yards. Now the second shot to the par 5. Frank, here at the 7th, there's a choice to be made.
Yeah, you can see the distinct reward for a good iron shot. If you get that ball on that right tier, then it's certainly a relatively flat birdie chance up ahead.
And to generate some momentum here at the 7th hole, this for birdie. Not a gimme, but well within his range.
Good job right there. Now making a move and setting himself up for, who knows, a good weekend run, maybe at another title. The former college standout has been excellent today.
On the green and looking at a birdie opportunity. And it's a long way to the hole from here. Never easy. It's a good looking putt right here. They might like it.
What a birdie. Now just a handful of players in contention.
That's the end of round one, and we saw a lot of good golf out there today, Frank.
And it was a bonus to anyone that got off to a good start today.
EA Sports and the PGA Tour proudly present the season-long race for the FedEx Cup. Today, it's live second-round coverage of the Boston Championship.
Frank, like all TPC golf courses, TPC Boston has the fan in mind. So you see those mounds throughout the golf course that gives people a chance to just sit, relax, and watch some golf. And there's a nice shady spot on the hill behind the 11th.
Yeah, that's just before the 12th tee, and you really do get a look at the tee shots coming in 11, as well as the little undulations and contours on that massive green.
Frank, I thought that was in. Oh, man.
Just pushed it.
Boy, that hurts. You don't want to let this one get away. This is about concentration and focus at this point.
Been a little too much of that, Frank, just sort of ho-hum pars.
Moving on now to the 12th, and Frank, describe this hole for us.
Sneaky good par 4. It's long enough, you know, sort of that 450, 460 mark. Bends a little to the left. Really, you want to be in the middle of fairway here, because that second shot with the green just tilting towards the hazard. One of the toughest second shots you have on the golf course.
Just a good solid tee shot right there, about 280 yards.
You'll need to catch this solid, 190 yards away. Well, Frank, the wind is really starting to pick up.
You've got to fixate on the direction now. If you get the direction wrong and or mistime one of those gusts, all sorts of problems.
Into the tall cabbage. That ball is swallowed up.
Remember, out of the rough. Expect the ball to jump forward a little bit. Great shot out of the rough. He avoided all the troubles just to get that on the green.
That was not an easy shot. He'll settle. So early on the backside here at the 12th hole, missed opportunity. So a tester from 4 feet. Frank, it's been that kind of a tournament. Another bogey.
Yeah, it's not exactly a small gap between that player there and the rest of the field. That gap's got to feel like the Grand Canyon right now.
Frank, right where you want to be.
Wouldn't be better if it was on a tee.
Second shot. Good look at the green.
There's a bunker over there.
I think he's headed for it. So the second of the par 4 goes begging, and now I'll have to rely on the short game.
Yeah, but a short game, as we all know, can redeem a lot of mistakes. See if he does it here. Well, it was almost like that's what he wanted to do, but why would you want it to run over the back?
Nice approach shot. He'll be happy with that. Settles in over the putt. Just slides by.
Yeah, can't afford to miss too many of those out here today.
Tough hole. Has this now for double bogey. No doubt would love to have this one back. That's a double bogey, 2 drop shots. Frank, the 14th, a shortish 495-yard hole.
Only because it's downhill. If you can get that ball running down the fairway, then it certainly sets up a good second shot into this stout par 4. Oh, nice little bounce forward. Should be close to 300, 290.
Now from a good position in the fairway, his second shot. Appears to be a smart shot, Frank.
Yeah, no problem here. That's going to fly all the way.
Into the thick stuff. That's a difficult lie. Shot now from the rough. Frank, what's he facing?
Well, the lie first and foremost. If it's sitting down, then obviously you're not going to get a very good contact. Nothing wrong with coming up a little bit short of the green. Problem is turning one mistake into another.
Par yesterday. Now for birdie. Frank, where is that thing?
Thank God for small mercies.
Now at the par 4 15th, what do you think of this hole, Frank?
Oh, I love the strategy involved here. It's not just necessarily a driver off the tee. Smart play often comes on top here because it's a second shot hole.
Nothing to argue about there, right in the fairway. Ready for his second shot, trying to knock it on the green. Good-looking shot right here. Terrific golf shot. And now, that for an easy birdie. Little redemption chance here. Had bogey yesterday. Stroked that with authority. So that is the end of the second round. I can't wait to get back at it tomorrow, Frank.
We got a great leaderboard right now, Rich. So many players in contention. Golf course, there's enough blend of good and hard holes. Really, it's up for grabs.
EA Sports and the PGA Tour proudly present the season-long race for the FedEx Cup. Today, it's live third-round coverage of the Boston Championship. Boy, this could be really good, Frank.
Oh, straight at it. Got the measurement out there, Rich. Looks like 290 yards.
From the heart of the fairway, 180 yards in. Superb shot.
That's as good as it's going to get. There's going to be no worries about making that one.
Now this for birdie. Came away with a bogey on the previous round. And that's a birdie. Ball's teed up at the par 4 13th.
And you want to keep that ball in the air as much as you can. Carry that air on the left side. That's a big tee shot. Somewhere in that sort of 300-yard mark.
Frank, it may be obvious you'd rather have a ball sitting up perfectly in these fairways as opposed to the deep rough off to the left or right. But how is a player able to take advantage when he has that good lie?
Well, anything better than that would be sitting on a tee. That is a perfect lie. It almost guarantees good contact.
Missed that one, and it is going towards the rough. Frank, better than we thought it was going to be.
Yeah, that looked like it was headed for that thick stuff the whole way, but a little fortunate. But then I guess you're allowed that in this game. Sneaking into contention here. Is that birdie?
Top 15 now on the leaderboard. Frank, at the 14th down, anytime you get a par 4 that is almost 500 yards, it gets your attention.
It does play downhill, though, so you don't have to smash away here. It's better if you can get something moving a little right to left. Then it will take the natural slope. You get a little more yardage out of it that way.
Excellent drive, Frank. Right where you want to be.
Second shot.
Third shot, looking for a good one. Well, this one should be safely on deck here. I mean, really on top of his game right now. That was a splendid approach shot. That is some good work right there. Birdie, one shot closer to the lead. Frank, after a couple of par 4s where you just sort of let it go with the driver, different strategy here at the 15th?
Yeah, you don't want to get carried away here. This is one where just a nice smooth swing, get that ball in the fairway. And that second shot, you've got to carry that false front. Oh, that's it. New member of the 300-yard club.
Good poke right there. Frank, really good chance from this position to make a birdie.
Yeah, really the only thing he's looking at right now is the flag. This is a green light special.
So a chance for birdie after another solid approach shot. Birdie try again here today. Had a nice birdie on this hole yesterday. Came to the putt, excited to make birdie. Now, settle for par.
Yeah, a little change in the attitude right now. When you've let one go, you've got to really knuckle down there. Make sure you don't drop a shot. It's important this one goes in.
Frank, how does that par help his cause?
It certainly doesn't hurt it.
So through 54 holes, a really good position inside the top 5 with one round to go.
Yeah, and those handful of players that we're looking at, Rich, they certainly have looked the best players this week, which makes tomorrow look like a real thriller.
EA Sports and the PGA Tour proudly present the season-long race for the FedEx Cup. Today, it's live final round coverage of the Boston Championship. Always nice to be in New England at this time of year at the TPC Boston in Massachusetts. We're about 25 miles south of Beantown, and this is a really good-looking golf course, Frank.
It is. It looks much older than what it is. It was first established just at the start of the new millennium, originally designed by Arnold Palmer. But it got that older look from Gil Hanse and Brad Faxon. But also, too, you know, if you're racking up a few points out there, or score, should I say, remember Gillette Stadium, home of the Patriots, just down the road.
Looks like he's going to have a go at it here at the par 5, his second shot. Seems to like it. Headed for the fat part of the green. Crucial eagle attempt on the way. And getting ready for the putt.
That had to really hurt, Frank, because it looked good all the way.
Well, this will test his mettle.
He really likes this hole. Made birdie yesterday. Can he do it again today?
A few more birdies like that, Rich, you never know, just might sneak place on the podium.
In the top 10 right now. All right, Frank, we're teed up at the 15th, and a lot to talk about with your caddy on this tee shot.
Yeah, which club, which line, series of bunkers down the left, that one short right doesn't really come into play. Another one, really, fairway first.
Frank, not overly long, but still a pretty good spot and in the fairway.
Yeah, that's in that 280 mark.
Frank, this is a position where a player is absolutely licking his chops here. Good chance to make a birdie.
Yeah, this is when this game just looks like fun. Bunkers don't seem to be in play. The only thing you're really looking at right now is just the flag.
Playing this par 4, still not on the green after that second shot.
But still not done. A good third shot. Maybe get away here with par.
And he's made it onto the green now. And this will be a 5-foot putt here. Nothing wrong with that par putt. Frank, here at the 16th, you really see this sort of New England character, don't you?
Yeah, that stone wall now protects that sort of two-tiered green. And it sort of showcases the golf course. It just fits in beautifully with what Hanse and Faxon have done to the golf course.
Well, look out. This could be wet, Frank.
It's heading towards the hazard.
Just averted danger right there. So close.
Why does he have all the luck?
Not a gimme, but well within his range.
And yet another birdie, this time inching into the top 5.
Frank, the 17th here at TPC Boston underwent quite a radical change.
Yeah, that renovation and that redesign that they did, it changed the character of the hole, but they still kept that big mound in the middle of the green. So that second shot is still punishing if you misjudge it.
And players nursing a lead, they might want to think about playing it safe down the right side, but if you're trying to make up some ground, you could try to fly the church pews that divide the fairway into 2 sections, and that would give you a nice short wedge in.
Yeah, give you a short wedge in, but really the risk, is it worth it?
should be pretty good right there. On the safe side. Good, clean contact, and a nice result. And a chance for birdie coming up.
Par yesterday, now for birdie.
Ooh, so close.
Well, that would have been a bonus had it gone in, but still, reasonable chance for par here.
Yeah, there's no damage. You're not going to birdie every hole.
Well done. Frank, the 18th here at TPC Boston, for whatever reason, generates quite a bit of buzz, doesn't it?
It does. The longer hitters, obviously, they lick their chops. They're having a chance to make this green in two. But if you find one of the fairway bunkers, the addition of that pot bunker for the layup, that just makes that decision that much more difficult.
Frank, it makes the game easy when you play it from the fairway.
Especially when you play it from a lie like that.
Okay, the second shot now at this par 5. He's set up for his third shot here, looking to get it on the green with this. Outstanding strike right there, right off the center of the club face, and a good chance for birdie.
You don't want to let this one get away. This is about concentration and focus at this point.
In a very aggressive mode with that birdie now in second place.
Frank, just some great golf here today.
Yeah, that's a round to remember. Not often you play that well and you feel like you were head and shoulders above the rest of the field.
What a thrill to watch. And for Frank Nobilo and our entire team, I'm Rich Lerner saying so long for now.